This video and demonstrations are going to show how artificial intelligence is being introduced into Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain. And I'm hoping after you've watched this, you'll be more comfortable with understanding how you can harness these tools and adopt them to be more efficient in your organization and to work more smartly. And effectively, these are going to help you build a business case of why you need Dynamics 365. So my name is John Boehm, and I'm a solution architect at Delaware, and I focus primarily on finance and supply chain. My background is actually in finance and accountancy, and so what you're going to see today is me demonstrating more of the finance side of the solution than supply chain. So before we dive into the solution, let's have a look at the different types of Copilot agents that can be used within Dynamics 365. And I guess also I should start by explaining that Copilot is nothing more than Microsoft's name for artificial intelligence and how it's embedded within a raft of different Microsoft solutions to help you be more efficient in your daily activities. So let's start on the left-hand side, and a simple Copilot agent can help with data retrieval. So this is where you may just ask it a question about the solution, or maybe something more broadly about your organization. And the Copilot agent will be looking at various data sources to go and find you the answer. We then have in the middle there task-based Copilot agents, and this is where they can take actions when asked. So a good example of that may be that you want a Copilot agent to raise a purchase order for a particular supplier and an item, and the Copilot agent could go away and do that for you. To the right-hand side, we have autonomous agents, and this is where agents operate independently of real people, and what they can do is look out for particular events or activities that have occurred in your systems or in your organization, and then they can carry out a set of activities based on those events. And typically what you'll see is one agent controlling the process and calling other agents to carry out parts of those activities and processes for you. So in terms of the demonstration that we're going to cover now, I'm going to go through three examples of Copilot working not only within Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain, but also within Excel as well. So I'll start by looking at Copilot Sidecar. I'll then look at Finance in Outlook, and then I'll finish with Finance in Excel. So first of all, let's have a look at Copilot Sidecar. So I've already logged into Finance and Supply Chain, and we're looking at my main dashboard here. And to open Copilot Sidecar, I can just click on the Copilot icon up here, and the Sidecar bar now loads. So let's give a couple of examples of how I can interact with it. So first of all, let's just ask it, how do I create a purchase order? So one of the data sources that Copilot is linked up with is Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn is the online guide for everything to do with Dynamics Finance and Supply Chain, plus the other apps as well. And what we can see that's been returned here is a step-by-step guide on how to create a purchase order. And if I click on See More, I should also be able to scroll to the bottom and look at the references. Here's one here, so let's have a quick look at this. So click on the reference, and it's taking me through to Microsoft Learn and the process I need to follow to create a purchase order. So that's useful. But also, thinking about other potential benefits or uses of Copilot within Dynamics is that you might also want to link company policy documents. So this could range from the policy for taking on a new supplier, or maybe expenses. So the example I thought about was, well, let's put in, or let's send a link through to your company expense policy. So if I now type in expenses, it's aware that it also has access to the expense document, and it says, okay, what type of expense do you want to know about? So let's say accommodation. Clicking on accommodation, Copilot goes to the document and returns the information in terms of the financial amounts that I can claim for hotel stays. So the next example I wanted to demonstrate is Finance in Outlook Copilot. So moving across into Outlook, I've received an email and it's not particularly helpful. So we've got a title of Outstanding Invoice Query and a short narrative just asking for me to send them a list of outstanding invoices. So at this stage, I haven't got any sort of customer reference. I'm going to have to go into the ERP to try and work out which customer this relates to and then bring back all of that information. But I can be much more efficient using Copilot. So first of all, let me click on Reply. And then I'm going to launch Copilot. So first of all, that's going to log into Dynamics, and it's going to summarize the email for me. So there's my email summary, but also it's already mapped a customer to the email address, to the sending email address. So let's have a look at that customer record, 27. So I get some more details. I've got the customer name, I've got its address. I can also see an age debt. So now I can view that this particular customer, we've got nearly £250,000 worth of invoices, aged over 180 days. Scrolling down a little bit more, and I can see we have 4 outstanding invoices, and here are the PDF versions of those invoices as well. And then finally, we have some activities. So I can track the credit control activities from within Outlook for this particular customer as well. So we can see things like a follow-up on the promise to pay. But once again, just stressing that all of this information is accessible within Outlook. I haven't had to do all of that interrogation in the ERP myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reply to this individual, and I'm going to reply with overdue invoices. So I'm going to click on that option and then add to draft. And what that's now going to do is attach those PDF invoice copies that we just saw into a zip file with my email reply. And there you go. So there's my email. Let me just close this down. It says the email that's been automatically produced, but I guess more importantly, the real time saver is that we've got this zip file of all of the invoices that relate to that customer. The third example of Copilot I wanted to demonstrate is called Finance in Excel Copilot. So I've already opened a spreadsheet with 2 tabs, and I want to reconcile the data held on those 2 sheets. The first tab, called Sales Invoices and FinOps, is a list of sales invoices for one particular customer that I've simply extracted from the ERP solution. On the second tab, called Customer Statement, I've got a customer statement I've received from one particular customer. What I want to check is that all of the invoices the customer has sent to me are included in the ERP. So this reconciliation can obviously be done manually in Excel, but I want to show you how you can use Copilot to automate that process. So first of all, I'm going to load in my Copilot sidecar. Now, as soon as this loads, it's going to start to analyze the data for me. And there's a couple of pieces of functionality that this provides. So, for example, I can use what's called financial data preparation, and this will allow me to transform and prepare the data before I carry out a reconciliation. So this could be useful if you've got a column that contains date values, but they're not actually properly recognized as dates within Excel. So you could use the financial data preparation to transform that data. But I'm going to go straight through to financial reconciliation, and Copilot is now going to suggest the fields that I want to map as part of the reconciliation. So it's going to look at the invoice date, the invoice number, and the amount. Now these are suggested fields to compare. I'm going to be happy with those, so I'm going to click on Accept, but I have the option to regenerate if I wanted to set up my own particular columns. But clicking on Accept, and now I can reconcile the data. So Copilot is going to carry out that reconciliation for me. So that's complete, and it's also generating a report which I can append to the bottom of this reconciliation. So let me scroll down to the report, and I'm going to append that. So there's my reconciliation report as well. I'm just going to close the sidecar so you can see the screen a little bit better. So what it's done is automatically matched 51 transactions on both tabs of the spreadsheet, and we can have a look at those matches just by expanding that field there. But focusing at the top, what I can see are transactions on the first tab, the Sales Invoices tab, that for whatever reason are unmatched, and also we have 7 transactions on the customer statement that are unmatched as well. So hopefully you can see how this is a huge time saver and efficiency, because as a member of the finance team, I only need to focus on the items that don't match. I don't need to worry about all of the items that do match. Now, in this example, I've only used about 55 records, but please bear in mind that this is a fully scalable solution, so Copilot can deal with up to 1 million rows of data and about 200 columns. So we've carried out that reconciliation. A couple of other things I wanted to highlight as well is that we have the ability to save every reconciliation as a template. Once you've saved a template, you can then further automate the process, and I'm now going to show you how you do that. So I've now moved across to Teams, obviously, and what I've created is a Finance Agents reconciliation channel. And each time you save a template in Excel with a reconciliation, the template will automatically create a set of folders in Teams. So sticking with this example of customer statements versus sales invoices, Copilot has automatically created 3 folders, and all I need to do is drop the reconciliation files into the source folder. So let me open that folder and upload the documents. Now there's a slight difference when you run this process automatically, because the spreadsheets need to be separate rather than on different tabs. So I'm going to pick my custom statement and sales invoices and click on Open. As soon as they've uploaded, Copilot will be monitoring this folder. It will recognize the files have been dropped into the folder, and it will start to run the reconciliation process. Ultimately, you'll find that the finished reconciliation will be put into the output folder. So if I just click on there, you can see that I've run the reconciliation a number of times in the past, but also it will email a copy of the reconciliation to a predefined email address. So just give that a couple of minutes and we can see the output in Outlook. So the process takes a couple of minutes to run, but now in Outlook I can see that I've got a new message in my inbox. So let's click on that. And I get the reconciliation report emailed directly to me. Furthermore, if I go to the bottom of the report, I can click on the link and that will take me straight through to the report in Excel. Viewing the report in Excel, you can see it's exactly the same information as if I'd run through the process manually using Copilot in Excel. So that completes the 3 demonstrations that I wanted to include in this recording. And just as a sort of recap, first of all, we looked at Copilot Sidecar, which is Copilot embedded in finance and supply chain. And this provides you with functionality to ask questions not only about the solution, but also you could embed corporate documents. So all of that information is available within the ERP. Second, we looked at finance in Outlook Copilot. So this is where your credit control team can be much more efficient in the way that they deal with queries that come in from customers. All of the information they need in terms of age debt, outstanding invoices, and also any activities are available at their fingertips in Outlook. And then finally, we looked at finance in Excel Copilot. So this is how you can use Copilot to reconcile data sets. But I guess of most value is that you can automate that reconciliation process using complementary products like Teams. And just to recap on what happened there, once the reconciliation is created automatically, it was emailed back out to me so I can access that information. So I hope you found that useful and illuminating, and hope that starts to help you see where finance and supply chain can really add value and make your finance activities and processes much more efficient. Thank you.